How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I absolutely love your hair. Do you use one of those crimper things or do you use like braids or what do you
No, this
use?
was a crimper, but it's the first time I ever did it, and this bang did not turn out really good, so it's gonna go behind my ear because I don't know how to make it better.
I love it though. It looks natural. It looks
Thank
aesthetic. It's
you.
very cute. It looks like
Thank
you
you.
just slept in braids.
That's why I'm like, I wanted to go for that, but every time I do that, like my ends look like crispy and stuff, like it's
Mm,
not super uniform. So I'm like, this is way more work than braids, but that's okay.
yeah, and that's what I've come to learn is that the extra work is worth the effort because I got one of those like what is it? Like the silk wrap thing that you
Yeah, the
wrap
heatless
your hair.
curls.
Yes. And I got that and I was like, okay, so this lasts for 2 hours. Okay,
Really?
so this
Okay.
doesn't hold anything.
I normally do that. The trick for me
Mm-hmm.
is to curl my hair before and then put
Mm-hmm.
it in the like wrap just because my hair like falls, like it doesn't hold any curl.
Oh.
And that holds it a little bit more. So that doesn't.
Mm.
I do that like every night because like that's just the easiest way for me to do my hair.
Wait, so what does your natural hair look like? Is it just straight?
I actually have curly hair. It's I forget which like type it is, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like honestly my front piece kind of does look like this. It doesn't look as
Mm-hmm.
uniform as this, but it's pretty like it's a little curly.
Yeah. No, mine is pin straight. It like dries in whatever
So
formation that it's
jealous.
in. It has nothing special about it. It's like one of those
I'm so
boring
jealous.
blonde colors.
No, that's a blessing because yeah, my hair it's so thin and fine
Mm-hmm.
that like when and it's curly, so it's just like frizz and it doesn't look cute. Like there's girls that have like really cute ringlets or like really nice curls that like have
Mm-hmm.
all no, mine just kind of looks like toddler hair that like needs like to be brushed.
Oh, girl, my boyfriend has a mullet, like long mullet,
Oh, I love that for him.
and curly, curly hair. We went
Oh
on
my
a
God,
camping trip. He gets in the river, he gets out, brushes it, and like it dries. Perfect curls. Meanwhile, I'm
no,
like sitting here looking like a third grader with my hair in a bun underneath a hat. I'm like,
I have
this is
to.
ridiculous.
No,
It's
my hair does not.
ridiculous.
I have. It doesn't like it just doesn't like listen. Like it doesn't
Mm,
behave very well to me, so I have to do it. So
yeah.
keyless curls is what I do.
Heatless curls, I love it. Okay, wait, it's so funny that you reached out to me on the same day that Erin posted
That's
your
so
picture
cute.
on her
I love
Instagram. I was like,
that.
wait a
I
second.
loved
I
it. I
recognize that
loved
photo.
That's so cute. No, I love them so much, and that's just so funny. It's so like
Mm-hmm.
meant to be.
Oh, 100%. Okay,
How did
so
you meet
so
Aaron?
Erin and I are actually best friends from elementary school. Yeah,
Really?
I actually was just in Ohio for her wedding.
Cute. Did you grow up in Ohio?
Yes, I unfortunately did.
No, it's okay. I grew up in Greeley, so everything's better than yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ohio's a spot.
Not much, but yeah, just slightly. Yeah. So no, Erin has been like my ride or die since elementary school, always super creative. I'm not surprised at all that she's doing what she's currently doing.
She's rocking it too. She is so good at what she does, and she's just like a
Mhm.
sweet soul. So I like know that we'll get along because I love her too.
Wait, so how did you meet Erin?
Through social media stuff. Like
Love
I do the
it.
same thing that she does. So literally,
Mm-hmm.
we've never met in person at all. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
just like online friends.
Yeah.
I've been following her since I started Slate. So just
Yeah.
kind of like DM besties.
I love that. That's something that I've become super familiar with this whole podcasting journey is social media best friends, which is
I have
amazing.
so many.
Yeah.
But I've also met so many too. Like I met a lot in like Denver area, and like those are like some of like my best friends, which is so sweet
Yeah.
because like how else are we supposed to make friends when we're adults? Like I would
Mm-hmm.
never make friends.
Girl, but you're telling me. You're telling me.
I was like, all I have is a
Yeah.
boyfriend and that's it.
Yep. Yep. And then it's like you can join a beer league and it's like I don't really want
What's
to
a
play
beer
kickball
league?
and then drink beer after. Thank you. I'm okay.
What's a beer league?
You've never heard of a beer league? It's like it was really popular. I moved from Boston and
Okay.
everyone it was have you ever heard of Volo or seen people wearing Volo shirts?
Wait, yes. Okay. I know what you're
Yes.
talking
Okay, so that's like a beer league. And so it's
about.
basically
Okay.
just an adult sporting league where you're sponsored, at least how it was in Boston, was you're sponsored by a bar. And so you would play like your soccer game or your volleyball game or your softball game. And then you would go to the bar afterwards that sponsors you because they give you like free appetizers or like a discount on
Yeah.
drinks or something.
Oh, cute. I literally have never heard of that. But also like I don't drink, but also when
Me
I did drink, I
neither.
don't. So. Yeah, you're sober too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too, girl. That's a hard thing out here in Denver too, because that's like really the only thing you can go do is drink.
I know, drink and hike, and everyone's like, I love a brewery. I'm like, ugh.
I know, I'm like, I'll go chit chat with you. Like I love being social and I love going out, but like no one goes out and
Hmm.
like dances. It's always just like goes out
Yes.
and like, drinks or like to go like find like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And I'm like, I can't we just like go do something fun?
Guys, let's
It's
just go shake some ass, okay?
no, you know, I was like, can we go dance? That's I met my boyfriend at Mile High back when it was like
Oh,
people
really?
actually it was fun.
Uh-huh.
Yes. We were like in the mutual group, so it's like I can't give it all to Mile High that we met there, but I'm like now Mile High is like not anything like that because I'm like I just want to go to a bar and dance, but like no one does
Hmm.
that anymore. People are
Yeah.
like
You pretty much just have to go to like a line dancing bar if you're in Denver nowadays.
yeah, which I'm like sometimes I just want some like I loved the silent disco. Like that was my favorite thing at
Oh, I've
Mile
never
High.
done that.
Yeah, outside they have the headphones. I love that.
Hmm.
Also, like I don't have to talk to anybody, just put the headphones on, we're all dancing. And like there's different
And that
stations.
is an autistic girl's dream.
No, literally. And one time there was a ball pit. There's a photo of me. I'm sitting in the ball pit with my headphones on. No one else is there. And I'm just like in the ball pit and I'm having the best fucking time of my life.
Vibing.
No, literally. It was my dream.
That's amazing. I actually love that. I need to consider doing that. I've always been too afraid to do a silent disco.
Mile High is not the same anymore. I feel like it's not like what it used to be, but a silent disco
Hmm.
is a good time. Always sign up for a
Period.
silent disco.
I love that. Okay, so love the intro, love all of this. But ultimately, I want to talk about Slate. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about how you got into social media marketing, all of that fun stuff. So, how would you like introduce yourself to like an audience or to someone if they've never met you before?
Like this is so awkward, but like I'm like, hi, I'm Sarah. I am the owner and the founder of Slate Social Management. I started Slate back in like 2022. Before then, I was working for a salon in Fort Collins, actually, and I was doing their marketing. I started as a receptionist. I was in
Hmm.
college to be a teacher, which, long story short, I did not become a teacher. I still got my degree though, so. And I learned a lot about digital marketing in that kind of like
Hmm.
realm, and I fell in love. I've always loved content creation ever since I was little. Like I was that girl at sleepovers making video star music videos. Do you know what video star is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I'm like, thank God we did not have social media back then because the digital
Hmm.
footprint would have been crazy.
Hmm.
But I have just always loved content creation. I had a really, this is super embarrassing, big presence on Musically. So TikTok before was actually called
Hmm.
Musically. I was like, I was musically famous, not to brag, but like, and that's so cringy. But I also just loved creating content. Like that was like a big thing. And I was like a little too young for Vine. So like, I
Hmm.
loved that. And then when it came to TikTok, I was like, oh, perfect. But so when I had the opportunity to start my own business or just kind of like next steps after that salon closed, I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my own social media management company. And it's been like 2 years now, 3 years now. And so, yeah, Slate just celebrated its second birthday in January.
Congrats.
Thanks. It's been a long ride, but I love what I do. We now have a team, so now there's three of us. I have two girls who are social media managers that joined the team at the beginning of the year, and we help like local, like Denver, Colorado businesses, but we also have some national ones as well.
Hmm.
Our main service is social media management, but we also do like I do content shoots here locally. We also do like SEO stuff like blogging, like even podcast stuff. I have a girl who does a podcast, email marketing, and just kind of like the other assets that come to a successful like strategy. So it's kind of what Slate is.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds all encompassing, and you make the transition sound so easy from going of like, oh yeah, it was just like a
Was that
simple decision, which obviously you're downplaying. So talk to me about what that was like, because the salon sounds like it just closed and you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do next. Was it
yeah.
like an immediate, like, I'm gonna start my own business, or was it, I'm gonna try and find someone who does this and work for them?
No, I knew that I wanted to start my own business. I also didn't know much about like if anybody else did like this. I only followed a couple accounts on Instagram that like I knew did kind of what I was doing for the salon, and I
Hmm.
like kind of like dove into that kind of industry. And so I had a heads up. The owner of the salon was going to go into like she didn't want to do hair anymore, so she was closing the salon and going down a different path. So I had a little bit of time to figure out what my next steps were, and I knew that I didn't want to be a teacher, and I knew that I had this kind of like passion, and I had experience working with clients, and I just knew that I wanted to at least try. So It was a little bit of a scary step because yeah, obviously if you go from like employed, and I worked full time throughout college, so it was really steady. Like I knew what it was like to work full time, and have that stability to going to freelance and being your own boss, which I would say I'm pretty like disciplined because I'm like I had a goal and like once it's only you, getting it done because you're a one man show. So it's like if you're not doing the work, it's not getting done. So it was a little bit of a jump and a little scary. And I will say, like, the first year or so was a lot. Like, I really, it tested me and made sure that I really wanted it. And I really always tell girls that, like, what separates a successful business owner from like a failed business owner is that, like, they just didn't give up because you really can't fail if you don't give up.
Mhm.
And there were some times that I was like, well, I'd rather just have a steady paycheck and some stability and go corporate. But then also I was like, I love the idea of being able to make my own decisions and also just be able to scale in the way I wanted to scale.
So obviously you're transitioning from this role where you're getting a steady paycheck and you're transitioning from a lifestyle where you're like, okay, I know that like these are my expenses, this is what I'm going to have, and then all of the sudden you flip everything upside down on its head and you're starting your own business. You're trying to figure out all of these new avenues of how to create income, how to create revenue. How am I going to pay myself? How am I going to pay rent? What did you do? I mean, obviously you majored in education. That's not business or entrepreneurship. Not to say that you can't start a business with only a degree, but how did you figure it out?
I was broke for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sacrifice. Luckily, I was able to come into starting Slate with two like clients already, so I knew that I had work to do, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I had some source of income, but like I didn't have those like clients for like I think I had them for a couple months. But at that point, I was able to kind of like start working and also like I feel like this is a very normal kind of thing that a lot of social media managers do when they first start, but I charged like next to nothing for a lot of work. So I was grinding out here like probably not doing my best work at the time probably because I was just starting, so I didn't know that much anyways too. I was still really learning, but also
Yeah.
like just sacrificing so much for such like so little pay. And that's kind of one thing I'm really thankful now is that I have clients who are willing to invest in the investment of social media management. That
Mm-hmm.
way I can like really give my all and my effort to each client and give them the best. But yeah, I really just was out here learning it, like learning my lessons, learning one step at a time. Luckily, there was a lot of people already in this industry that I could ask questions from or learn from. There was a lot of different courses that you could take to learn like how the contracts work and how you should
Mm-hmm.
set up your services and even just like I didn't know how to start an LLC or like pay taxes. What are you talking about? I used to always like get taxes like I used to get like refunds or whatever and now I owe taxes. Like that sucks. So just stuff like that was like a little jarring, but also I knew that it came with the like starting a business and I was
Mm-hmm.
super passionate about it and I just loved being able to be my own boss and like make all the decisions even though I'm a professor and even just creating the logo took me like probably 3 weeks because I love creating logos for everybody else, but when it came to my logo, I could not make a decision. So things like that kind of slowed me down and I had to realize like done is better than perfect. Like
Mm-hmm.
just have it done and we can always perfect it later. But yeah, that I'm like, I don't even know what tangent I got down that time, but
Yeah, no, transitioning from something that's more stable to something that's seemingly chaotic and not really clear to you, but answered it perfectly. And the part that's so amazing to me is just the what you said earlier about you're only a failure if you give up. And there had to have been times where you were like, okay, I'm not making this much money. I'm not getting new clients in right now. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Like, how do you combat those thoughts? What's going through your head when moments like that are happening?
there was a lot of times like that. And honestly, before I moved to Denver, like right before I moved, it was months of that where I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to make this move? Am I going to be able to afford to like still live like where I want to live and live in Denver on all that and just survive? And honestly, I just didn't give myself an out. I basically was just like, okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out more ways to figure like find clients. And
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think once I started posting, and this is like kind of like my story that I always tell clients, but I used to like when I first started Slate, I was really put myself in this like box that I thought I had to show up online as like I needed to show up as a professional and as if like kind of just everybody else as well. Cause I was like, I need to like meet their standards or whatever they're talking about, I need to talk about too, like kind of that kind of stuff. And I was working really hard to fit in. And I kind of just like got sick of it and also just was like, well, I'm more comfortable in my position now that I was like able to be more myself authentically in my content and just in my presence online. And I was able to show up more consistently and
Mhm.
better because I wasn't really putting like myself in this box. I was able to be myself and say things that like maybe other people aren't saying, but I was able to say them with my chest because I'm like, this is what I believe in, and it's okay if you don't believe in this, or like it's okay if you see things differently. And I also at the same time I was, looking, I was like, okay, how should I adjust my packages? Like what are people needing to get like or wanting to have in social media management? Like I was really just took that time to reflect on what my services were and like what my offerings were and also like who I was presenting myself as. And honestly, I just started attracting clients who are my dream clients because they are looking for someone like me. I always say like there are
Mhm.
so many people in any industry, but especially social media management, there's so many you can choose from because you don't have to choose someone local to you. So if you look up social media manager on Instagram, there are like thousands of accounts that you can choose from. So really the only thing that differentiates your account from anybody else's because yeah, you have branding, yeah, you have like your tone of voice, whatever. We're all kind of talking about the same stuff. We kind of all offer around the same things, around the same price point or whatever. So the only thing that really differentiates you is yourself and your
Mhm.
personality and how you connect with your clients. So that's really kind of something you have to emphasize on, even just in any other business too, because it's just kind of like your only like it's your superpower, like basically just being
Right.
able to be yourself. And I know that sounds so cheesy. I hate saying that, and I need to figure out a different way to say that. I
No,
just like
don't change it. It sounds great.
cringy like motivational thing on the wall. I always go back to that though because
Hmm.
it's true and I really think that's just what changed. And luckily I last April I moved down to Denver or yeah, down to Denver from Fort Collins. I knew that I wanted to be closer to my clients that were down here. My boyfriend lived down here, so we were able to move in together. And I also model, so down here is just like where I needed to be instead of driving back and forth. And
Yep.
once I made that sacrifice in my life as well, where I kind of like told myself that like this is my new life. I'm not holding on to any past beliefs. I'm not holding on to any like past like baggage or just like old patterns. I'm in this new
Hmm.
spot now. It kind of just all shifted and fell into alignment. And now I'm here. And then like over a year later.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is truly such an inspiring step to take when you're like, I'm all in on this. There is nothing that I can do to go back on what I've decided to do. Because once you look forward, you're then able to become this new version of yourself that you know you can be, but you just need others to recognize that. And I feel like showing up on social media authentically as yourself is one of the hardest things to do. And I feel like you're able to do it in your own voice, but how do you get your clients to talk in their voice as opposed to just an extension of your own voice?
I always say that when you hire a good social media manager, they're an extension of you, like in your brain. I always have
Mm-hmm.
clients when they read their captions, they're like, that literally sounds like I wrote it. Like, did I write that? I'm like, you kind of did. Like, I take so much of like what I hear from you in our strategy process in the onboarding process, and I like categorize it and like put in file cabinets in my brain. That way I can step into their shoes as well as like obviously their customer shoes or their like target audience's shoes. So I'm able to like see it through their eyes, but also through the brand's eyes and see their voice. I feel like a lot of business owners are super scared to put their like face out there, especially when, they start a brand that has like a logo, say like, a coffee shop or like, what, like a clothing brand, and they necessarily don't need like their face out there. And it takes a lot of like just getting comfortable with me in front of the camera, that kind of stuff, because they were like, well, I started this not thinking that I'd have to show up in any way. And obviously it's like they don't have to be their face of their brand, but I always say like humans, like an audience will only connect with other humans. Like we can only connect so much with a logo or a like product, but we can connect with, human emotion and human experience and just humans in general. So as soon as like you're able to show up in your content and even just like maybe show behind the scenes or do a funny trend or like show up and like introduce yourself and explain like the emotion of like why you wanted to start your business or whatever. um that's really what makes a difference, because especially for people that you're going to hire, like let's say like a wedding planner or I don't know, just like even a hairstylist, I guess, you kind of need to have trust in them, and you want to feel like you know them. Like obviously, like yeah, you want their service, then their service looks good, their price point looks good or whatever. But the next thing that's gonna really make you want to book with them or, work with them is if you feel like you can trust them. And that kind of goes with social media management too, where girls are like people will watch like your account for so long and kind of get to know you and like interact with your stuff and just kind of learn about you, and they're gaining that trust and they feel like they're making a relationship with you where they're like, I kind of just feel like we're best friends. So that way when they want to work with a social media manager or whatever, they think of you because they're like, oh, I already trust you, I feel like I know you, I'm not scared to
Hmm.
approach you. So like that's why it's so important to show up in your brand and show up authentically. And also like no one's perfect, I always say that too. It's like you don't have to show up in this perfect way. Like I think the best like ways are to show up like imperfect and show that authentic side of you because no one's perfect. So if you see like I love when I watch like influencers with a messy room in their back like in their background because I'm like I have a messy room in my background too. Like all of a sudden a $1 million like successful creator like has like millions of followers, I feel connected to because I'm like, okay, she's not like
Hmm.
a robot. Like I feel connected to them. So long story short, I always just try to make sure that they can show up authentically in their content too. So, like strategically, they can also have that connection with their clientele.
Yeah. I mean, the rise of micro influencing has been
Mhm.
astronomical in terms of like PR and just in the realm of influencer. Because, like exactly what you're saying, these people are developing these relationships with their following, and their following feels like, okay, they're not just some celebrity that's trying to push something. They actually are selling this to me because they like it or they care about it or they think that it does X, Y, and Z. And I have to feel like that is what it's similar to with the brands that you're working with and how a lot of them have to become involved with their clientele and their following. And the part that's so mind-boggling to me that is the work that you do is that it is so multifaceted, that there are so many different moving parts in the realm of social media specifically. Like if you go on to social media right now, Instagram is one thing, TikTok is another thing. They have different algorithms, they have different things that they push. How is that something that you're even able to keep up with on a day-to-day basis?
I always say like a lot of my clients will or like potential clients will hop on discovery calls with me and they're like, yeah, like I really want to do the social media or like I try to do the social media, but I just don't have time for it. Like it is so much like it's like a full-time job. And I'm like, yeah, it's my full-time job. And so when you have another full-time job, like you're a business owner and you're running whatever your business is or behind the scenes or whatever, or even just being a mom or whatever they're doing, having another full-time job of social media, like just even the content creation process, it is a lot of work. But yeah, keeping up on trends and keeping up with like knowing what how the algorithms work. And I feel like social media, now that everything's so accessible, things are just like moving so quickly too. Like it used to be like trends used to be, months long, and now they're like a couple days
Mm-hmm.
long and there's a new trend and there's something new happening and there you need to hop on this or whatever. So it really is like you have to consume yourself in that or you're not going to be reaching your full potential. So that's kind of why clients come to me. They were like, I want to focus on what I'm passionate about, like my business. That's why I started my business because I'm passionate about this. I want to give my social media to someone who's passionate about that and they can, handle this and you'll just let me know what you need from me. Because yeah, it is a full-time job and it's a lot of researching and just keeping up to date with just all the upgrades in the platforms, and the platforms are always changing and the algorithm is always
Mm-hmm.
changing. Sadly, I have to be chronically online. I always wish I could do a detox, but also I'm like, it's my job, like, and it's a blessing
Yeah.
and a curse. Like, I love being able to be online, but also some days my brain is mush, and I'm like, I wish I could just, log off and
Dissociate.
yeah, literally, I'm like, just not interact with online, but also I'd probably go through withdrawals. But
Mm-hmm.
also, like, I have to be healthy and, be like, I do like 1 hour in the morning, no social media, like for the day, kind of like pour into my cup. And I know like a lot of social media managers talk about like, they'll do like unplugged like vacations where they're like, will go on a vacation and leave my phone in the room, like to literally rest your brain. Because when you do such a creative job, it once you squeeze all the creative juices out of it, there's nothing else to come out. Like there's no juices left.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to keep pouring into your cup and keep it like the creative juices flowing, or you're gonna burn out fast and your job is gonna be so painful and you're not gonna do your job really well. Because you have to be a creative.
Yeah. And that is very well said. I went through this spurt of like, I'm going to be an influencer podcaster. And then I was like, girl, what are you doing? The people that want to be lifestyle influencers, I don't get it. Don't.
So
praise to
hard.
y'all, but I don't get it. Like, you have to be ready to whip your phone out at any point in time in your day, record whatever you're doing, and then edit it. And the editing, oh my gosh, I made like a video compilation of what my summer on a ranch was like. And I kid you not, it took me 3 hours. It took
Yep.
me 3 hours to do that. Not
Yes.
something I want to be doing every day. Not something I want to be doing every day. And it's not like I'm getting millions of views either. It's like
No,
you're getting
wait.
300 views.
Yeah, and you're like, perfect. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Love
Perfect.
you
I
guys.
feel
We'll never.
validated. Yeah, so that was definitely one of the moments where I was like, okay, I don't want to do influencing. I understand why people do. But the thing right now that is killing me about influencers and about like the trends that are happening on TikTok specifically, but it's like you need to be posting 20 times a day. You need to be like, what is it? I forget what the phrase was because I just completely just out of my mind, but it was like you need to be connecting whatever it was, the teamwork trend. And it was like you need to be commenting. I'm like, girl, I'm doing the most right now. I'm giving you a like anyways. Got like
Yep.
and a scroll. Come on. That's a lot. And so what is
Absolutely.
do you have your clients ever come to you and be like, I expect you to be posting 20 times a day. Here's what we need to do. Like, what does realistic growth even look like anymore?
I would say it's different. Like I have a friend who has been posting a lot too, and she, has been getting like that's like, growth from that as well. I always say like especially for Instagram, and Instagram is typically like my clients like number one priority when they come to me because I always say like Instagram is like your for a business at least your kind of like website. Like it's your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like more professional. People like go there like for I'll find like a coffee shop and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at their Instagram because your Instagram, you
Yep.
can see the information you need to see, maybe a menu. Also, you can see like, okay, is there seating that I can sit and like plug my charger in to work? Is there Wi-Fi? Like, what's the vibe look like? And that you can get that a
Mm-hmm.
lot more than a website. So I think an Instagram, and also you have a community there. You can kind of get the vibe, the presence. And then I say for TikTok, it's a really good, authentic like connection way where it's a lot less poised and professional. You can be really casual on there. And I do love posting like my own personal like content as well. I just love content creation. But I also always tell my clients, I rather you be posting once a week if that post is strategic and high quality and offers some type of value for your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're posting 20 times a day and it's just like a random thought that like really doesn't relate to like anything that like your clients don't care about or like your target audience doesn't care about, like maybe it will work for a certain audience, especially with like influencers, which like I don't really like we work with business owners, so it's a little different. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
immerse myself in as much in that like realm of things. But for me, when I scroll, I always see like too where I'm like, okay, I'm scrolling past anything that doesn't like catch my attention really fast because we all have fried attention spans, which is so sad. Like my attention span is so fried just on TikTok. It's so hard for me to watch a movie because I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to like changing like dopamine like every 3 seconds. So if someone doesn't catch your attention in those first 3 seconds or they doesn't provide you any value where it's like, it could be entertainment, like is, am I entertained by this person and I like, how they're editing or how they're talking or whatever the video is about, like, am I entertained? Or am I like, oh wait, I'm connected to this like maybe problem that I also have and I want to see what their solution was for, like they're providing me that, or even just
Mm-hmm.
like they're educating me on something that like I'm interested on. So if it really is like a pointless, like kind of valueless content, I don't see any like reason to post that much. But also, yeah, like I said, I don't work with influencers that much, so I don't immerse myself in those strategies. But I also see the whole like being a teamwork thing. I always say like you have to have a presence online.
Mm-hmm.
You have to engage with you can't just like post and ghost. You really do have
Right.
to engage. And for my clients like on TikTok or Instagram, when we post, I will scroll also just to help the algorithm like know that we're not just like a robot and like a bot account. But I'll engage with, people that are their target audience. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's like a hairstylist or whatever, and be engaging with people who live in the area or who, are interested in extensions or other stylists and that kind of stuff or whatever their niche is. And I do comment because yeah, like some people will look, be like, oh wait, like I like whatever they're talking about. I'm gonna go like look at what their page is. I've gotten clients before from me commenting on other people's posts and they found my account and they're like, oh, like this is exactly what I was looking for. Obviously, engaging and being a part of your community and having a presence is really important. But I also like I hate the whole like you have to post every time you open the app or you're not going to be successful because it's not a one size fits all thing. There's no
Mhm.
magic key that's gonna make you go viral. Also, like, I don't know if people want to go viral. Like, going viral is not what you want. Because I've gone
Mhm.
viral so many times. I have like multiple like 5 million view videos. That doesn't make me an automatic like successful creator. Maybe back in the day, but now everybody goes viral. Like, it's not a special thing.
Right.
You have to consistently grow your community. You'd rather have 100 engaged people who actually care about you, want your product, or want to like follow you along and engage with your content than 1,000 people who like don't give a crap about you.
Mhm.
Especially like 5 million. It also just kind of stunts your growth, also like just with the algorithm. I forget like what my tangent was on there, but there's just like no one size fits all. So if someone's
Mhm.
saying like you have to do this and you're gonna blow up or you're not gonna blow up or whatever, I wouldn't take their advice. Like, obviously, like you can take it with a grain of salt and maybe like see if that works and maybe try that if you really want to. But truly, it's just like if you're posting authentic content and it's, what you enjoy or like, what your target audience enjoys and gives them some type of value of entertainment or whatever, you're going to get the same kind of result, even if you just post once a day. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my spiel on that. I would never tell my clients to like fall for these, like, well, we're going to have to do this and it's going to change everything because no, that's not how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. And every time I see one of those like trends of here's how you blow up immediately, I'm just like, guys, are we really falling for this? Like, this
No.
seems like just a way to spend more time on the app and more time in the app's pocket. And I feel like that's not what we really want to be doing, right, guys? And it seems like that would be something that people would recognize, but I've been surprised recently.
Yeah, like if you don't know, and also like the more you post, the more opportunity for people to see you. So like
Right.
more the merrier always. And even just like new content in general, more the merrier. So like yeah, like if you're able to post every time you open the app and it's good content that you want to give your clients, like or like your target audience or whatever, like go for it. Like I love that for you. Like try to post, as many times a day as well. But
Mm-hmm.
just doing something to like check a box off or like you think you're gonna blow up overnight, you're chasing the wrong like end goal.
Metric. Yep.
Also, like it's gonna be like a bottomless pit because there's gonna be like next week there's gonna be another thing that you have to do to blow up and you're just not gonna blow up.
Right. I think that there was this trend of being able to pay for like a course on how to go viral.
Oh,
And that to me was like, okay, so once you go viral, then what? Like, then you just hope that they resonate with the rest of your videos. Like, what if the viral video that you created doesn't necessarily match up with the rest of the content? Like, are you going to gain a following? What does that look like?
yeah. And it's like you can definitely like if I think about like Alex Earl, which I guess like that was a while ago, and like I
Mm-hmm.
love Alex Earl, and I think at the time like, it was also social media is just so different day to day. But like she
Mm-hmm.
had a couple videos go quote unquote viral, but it was like she's been doing those type of videos of like get ready with me for so long, and she consistently did that, and that's kind of why where people were like, wait, I want more of her, and there was more, and there was more
Mm-hmm.
videos like that, and she had that kind of like she had her like niche. She had like the expectation, like people knew what they were gonna follow her for. So people
Mm-hmm.
did. And so it's like, yeah, like I had a video go viral, which I'm like, I just post like willy-nilly on my personal account
Mm-hmm.
because it's fun and I love a fun outlet and I do love creating content. And it was like me and my boyfriend dancing to the crap rave and I'm like wearing like a nightgown muumuu and it has like way too many views, way too many views. Because like we were just doing that like one night when I had the zoomies and I was like, I gotta set up my phone. This is so funny. Posted it thinking like I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like I hope my parents and like my boyfriend's parents don't see it. Yeah, and like 4 million people saw it. So I'm like, I went super
Good.
viral. Also, I'm like, I could have got some followers from that. I could have not. Also, it's like they're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
follow me for more crab rave dancing videos.
Yeah.
It's like going viral is not what it used to be. Going viral is also like not the goal always. Like I rather you just post
Yeah.
consistently and have people know that they're gonna follow you for a reason because there's some type of
Mm-hmm.
value in that content. Yeah, or like what else, like why would people follow you? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I feel like that on top of just social media in general and it's constant changing and like there's so much going on. What is really when you are talking to somebody about social media marketing and you're like, you need a social media marketer? Like when you're talking to somebody and they're telling you about their issues and they're like, I think I need a marketing team. And you're like, well, what is a marketing team going to do versus what a social media manager is going to do? How do you differentiate the two of those very different avenues of marketing?
Yeah, and like obviously I didn't get a marketing degree. A couple years into this, and I know a lot about marketing. I always kind of call it like old school marketing, which like There is no hate and there's no like I think old school marketing, like quote unquote old school marketing has its time and place and it's definitely still super like relevant for some
Mm-hmm.
brands and that kind of stuff. And then there's like digital marketing and like social media management marketing. And really for this day and age, everybody's on social media. It used to be
Mm-hmm.
kind of be like I'll compare it to like radio ads where everybody was listening to the radio because that's all we had in the car. Like maybe we had
Right.
CDs. Most people listen to the radio. No one really listens to the radio before or like that much. Like my boyfriend sometimes does for some reason. But like for me, I'm like everybody just plugs their phone in, listens to a podcast or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
having an ad on a podcast or having a podcast or like just being on social media because everybody's on social media. Everybody checks social media like multiple times a day. You know, my mom's on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and like my
Mm-hmm.
grandma is too. And like everybody's on Instagram or like social media. So being able to meet them where they're at and they're interacting with content that they like. So if you're able to get on their For You page and, you know, find what their interest is and kind of like infiltrate their feed, they're going to learn about your brand in like not of a forced way either. They're going to learn about it voluntarily. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to like maybe engage with it or just, you know, learn about it. Like when I like go to look up like places to eat downtown Denver or like a coffee shop to work at it, I don't like go to Google. I go to TikTok and I look that
Yep.
up and like it will show me because I can see the vibe. I can see, you know, like what I said about like earlier, it's better than a website. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think, you know, old school marketing has its time and place. And a lot of people like even like email marketing, that kind of stuff, which I totally we like have those services as well. I think those are all have a lot of value, but like my main focus is like when I meet a brand, I'm like, do you have a social presence? Like, are you
Right.
online? Do you show up online? Because how are people going to find you if you don't show up online? Like, yeah, running some like website ads can definitely like help, but like long term, having a presence online and having that organic content that will perform way longer than like a paid ad would because a paid ad only has, you know, a certain duration that it runs,
Right.
but organic content that you post and it stays there until you want to delete it. I have posts from like a year ago randomly go viral from Slate, like in that people are
Yeah.
commenting or whatever because that's there forever. And like that might hit
Mm-hmm.
someone's algorithm later or whatever. So having a presence is way more, you know, of a better investment. And it's kind of like necessary for every brand now, no matter what your niche is, because like there's like car dealerships that go viral. And like that makes me want to buy a car from that random car dealership because
Yeah.
I think they're funny and I feel like car dealerships are typically super like scary and intimidating, but this car dealership like it has personality and like it's funny and I feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable going to them. So like that's just the power of being able to connect with your audience and meet them where they're at and showcase your brand that way for any niche, honestly.
Yeah. And I feel like there was this time when I was in college and one of my friends' dads asked me, when was the last time you ever bought something from a television ad? And I was like,
Wait, do they still
never.
have that?
Yeah, I was like, ads, what is that? I was like, ooh, never. And
Yeah.
then I really just made me think about the way that I consume content and I consume media, and I really thought hard about how I was being marketed to. And I am a very analytical, data-driven person, and so I'm the type of person that'll walk into a place and know exactly like what I want to buy, why I want to buy it, and why I want to buy it for that price point. And so for me, it was always very important to understand like, okay, I want to be the one making this decision. And so having that authentic outlet, like what you're describing, has been so important to like get to know smaller brands because I'm very granola girl. I love a brand that is all about sustainability, that's all about like female ownership, all of that fun stuff. And so understanding that story is not something that's like transparent online in the sense of your website or in the sense of just like a short blurb.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Explain all that.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible. And so allowing for people to learn about your brand, to learn about who you are through your brand and why you built it and like what gets you excited about it. I think that social media marketing is such a cool realm to me because I've also been super involved in venture capital, and it's just really cool to see how you kind of become venture capitalists in the realm of here's how I see your company growing and here's what we can capitalize on in order to continue moving forward, and here's how you're going to see growth as well, and then you both end up profiting.
No, literally. It's like I get to do what I'm passionate about and like help other brands, and it in turn like return helps them do what they're passionate about by like running their business.
Yeah. And so when people come to you and they're like, Sarah, I need help with social media. What do I do? What does the opening call look like? Or how do you typically go down a path from there?
It depends on who I'm talking to. If it's like a friend that I know that I'm like, or if it's someone that I first like haven't met even, I guess I would be like, what do you need help with? Like I kind of
Mm,
ask them like, what are you currently doing and what do you need help with? Because like, yeah, if they're like, I don't know how Instagram works. I have never met a like I don't have a profile. Like I'll approach that a little differently than someone that's like,
mm,
I'm posting. Typically, like I always hear this story that's like I was really consistent when I first started it, and I really enjoy making content or whatever. But I'm just so busy. I burnt out. Like
yeah.
I used to come home from running my business all day, and then I would have to think about social media, and I had no creative juices. I had no brain like left to give to this, so
Hmm.
I'm not able to do it. And I know that I'm not, immersing myself into what is possible or like knowing about the algorithm, knowing about social media marketing. So I know it's not to its best potential. And I just need help. And so typically I'll talk to them about like what social media management looks like and kind of show them
Hmm.
that like when you hire on a social media manager and invest in that service, you're able to take that like kind of just that weight and stress off your shoulders, which return like helps their business obviously like work online, but also I start to see like they kind of reverse their burnout and like want to show up on their stories and like really love being creative and like have that passionate again because like there's no pressure, there's no stress. Like they're able just to show up knowing that there's posts and they know that there's a presence being taken care of. So they're able to show up 100% when they can or when they want to. If they like social media, some of my clients are like, I'm paying you to do social media. Let me know if you need anything from me. We're good to go.
Yep.
So it really is just basically like where they're at. And, if they're like, well, I don't know, I don't have a social media or a social media presence at all, I'll kind of give them that spiel about having that kind of as your like secondary website and having that
Hmm.
presence is so important for your business, any industry. So it kind of just like leeways into that and kind of like walks them through what it is having a social media manager because a lot of people just don't even know that this is a thing or
Right.
any expectation of what it is. So I kind of just like give them that rundown, and a lot of them are like of that. Or if they're not in that place to be able to invest in a social media manager, because it definitely is an investment. I talk to them about like I have a strategy, like it's a smaller price point where you just buy it once or whatever until you need maybe another strategy for like when things grow.
Yeah.
Which they love that. It gives them the stepping stones and like that toolbox to be able to post strategically. But then it comes back into that problem where they're like, I don't have the time to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
love it and I feel creative and I have these tools, but like, you either have to sacrifice your money or your time to do it like
Right.
specific or to do it like to the extent that you need to do it. So it kind of just comes back down to that. So I hope that
Yeah.
answers your question.
It does, it does. And I love that you keep saying that it's a secondary website because I just remembered that Google is going to come up with search results based on Instagram and I don't think TikTok, but I am
It
100% sure
starts
on
early with
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes. So, like, when you'll search something, it'll say hair salons near me, and it'll show you posts from someone's Instagram, which I love because I don't necessarily want to have to go to Instagram or TikTok to try and figure out something. I normally just want to have like all of my solutions in one spot. And so, if I could get on Google and just type in hair salons near me and then get a depicted list of all of these different hair salons and then from there I can navigate to their pages and see like what their services are because I have been burned by getting my hair done before and not looking at their Instagram. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was bad. I got Ronald McDonald red, grassy, ginger colored hair. I have been dyeing my hair since I was in second grade, like kid you not. And I've never, ever, ever had an issue. And I went to this girl, didn't look at her Instagram, didn't look at her Instagram. And I had just moved to Boston and I was paying for like this really luxurious service. And I was like, I'm treating myself, just got this new job. Oh, and you want to hear the worst part? You want to hear the worst part? She flips over the iPad and the options were 25%, 30%, 35%. Guess what button I clicked?
No,
Why did
you're
I
like,
do that?
and you're like gonna cry in the car. It's such
No,
like that's
literally. And I was absolutely like catfished in the salon. I was like, this doesn't look right. But then every time she would like put the ring light on me, she like put it on like the cool tone. And then it looked like the color that I was asking for. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just tweaking a little bit. And I go outside and I called my boyfriend at the time and he answers the phone. He's like, what did you do? I was like, oh, so that's real. That's real.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, it
important.
was really
Looking at the social media presence.
exactly 100%. And so that just going back to what I was initially saying about having it show up on Google, that just expands it so much because the people that don't even have a social media presence, they'll be able to see that then. So then you're not just restricted because I feel like there's probably an argument that exists out there of, oh, my target audience isn't on Instagram, but they are.
Like they probably have a Facebook. I'm like everybody in their great
Hmm.
like great grandparents have a Facebook. Like so everybody has a Facebook. But even if you don't have social media, like you know about social media or whatever, but I think what Google like saw was how much people are going to these social media platforms to do these Google searches and they're like, "Shoot, we need to hop on that." Which
Hmm.
is such a smart idea because yeah, like if you look up a brand, it used to like pop up their website or the Google business or whatever, and now it's their Instagrams, which is perfect
Yeah.
because yeah, like you get to see a lot more of like currently what's going on because like no one updates their website as much as they update their social media.
Right.
It's like see what's currently going on and seeing like what their work is or whatever and able to make a decision off of that. Plus like you have the Google like the geofencing of like what's in your area. Like way like
Hmm.
it's easier to do that than searching like like hashtags of Denver or whatever your area
Right.
is. Each one kind of does that work for you too. So it kind of just shows the power of digital marketing and like the fact that Google is like, okay, we have to do something about this and like hop on that as well, which was a smart choice because
Hmm.
yeah, even just when I've done like recent searches and it pops up Instagrams, I'm like, this is so nice. I could get used to this.
Yes. And then, so once you have your customer or your client rather, so you have your client and you've had your initial screening of, okay, where are you at? Like, what do you need help with? What do you want my services for? What happens from there? I know that there's a lot of videos that are being sent back and forth, and here's something that I need you to record. Like, are you the person that's showing up there and recording, or are they recording for you? And you're kind of like, hey, redo that video because it was terrible quality. Would you have chicken grease on the camera? Like, what does that look like?
It really depends if the client is local or if they're not local or, what
Mm-hmm.
their goal is as well. Typically the onboarding process, let's say like for someone who's like not local, because obviously like local is easier because I can come to them and get their content, which like you
Right.
just content shoots or whatever. But like non-local, so kind of the onboarding process of like getting the strategy and that kind of stuff looks like, do you fill out this questionnaire in your client portal, that kind of stuff. Like it's the more of the boring stuff. But the actual process itself, it kind of works. I work on like a 4 week, like monthly thing and comes up with like the content ideas based off your strategy and stuff like that. So we like get this list of content ideas. We see, what content you already have. So if a client just, onboards with me, I'm like, send over any and all content that you already have. Let's see what we have to work with. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see, what we can use or reuse even, that kind of stuff. But then also I really train them on like, you're gonna have to get these clips for me. And I have done like so much of this like training, like with people who are not very like tech savvy or just like don't know how to work a camera. And I'm like, turn off your HDR setting, wipe off your camera. Cause yeah, I'm like, girl, that was like I'm so lotiony and my camera is always so greasy. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime I'm like wiping my phone, like people know I'm about to get some content. So I'm like, wipe off your phone. I'm like, position it. I'll even be like, okay, for this trend or like for this video, take your tripod, put it at chest level, like turn it this way. Like I give them step by step, or even a lot of people really like when I can send example videos, even if it's like me doing the video for them, or like an
Yeah.
example of a trend, like from, so they can kind of see visually like what people like other people are doing, like, how they're holding the camera or, if it's on a tripod, whatever. So I kind of train them and I kind of give them that like, you're gonna have to do this for me. And honestly, just the hand holding helps them a lot where they're like, okay, I feel
Yeah.
confident. Like you were able to give me tips or like really walk me through it. Like for like a talking video where they're like setting up the camera and talking, I'll help them script it and I'll help like give them the kind of just like the outline of like you need to be in front of a window or have well lit, like what your background looks like how to talk and like the setting, like all that kind of stuff. So I'm able to get that content because yeah, I've been sent that like awful quality before where I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because it's not going to perform well. Especially like
Yep.
goes back to you have to show up in your content to connect with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, there really is no choice. You have to show up in your content a little bit at least, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to content because I also am like Canva graphics are not going to hit. Like, they're not going to hit as good as reels and authentic content and like content from your business. So I'm like if you're going to work with me, you have to get content. And that's something that we already kind of go over in the onboarding process or just even the discovery call. A big question is like, how the content process will work together. Because yeah, like if you don't give me stuff to work with, I can't do anything about it. So really it's a lot of hand holding and a lot of like typing it out. We're explaining to them what angles and like how it works. That way they upload it to me. I'm able to edit and create the content. I write all the captions, that kind of stuff. I put it in their content calendar. So then they're able to go and review and let me know if there's any edits or approval. And then I go from there and I post those.
Mhm.
So really it is just kind of like, I get what I need from them. And if they like to be a part of the process, they totally are able to like help us come up with content ideas that they'd like, or be a part of that content creation process if they really enjoy it. Most of my clients are like, no, I'd rather not be. But also, yeah, like they're able to not be. They're able to be like, let me know when you need me. I'm here for like getting your content whenever you need. Like I'm gonna get you all over, like, or like get you what you need over the span of
Right.
2, and then get it to you, and then I'm gonna edit and approve, and then I'm gonna bounce again. So,
Mhm.
and that's what they're like, they hired us to do so they can go run their business and enjoy their life and not have to be overwhelmed by social media. So it kind of
Yeah.
looks like that. It's so different for every client because like every business is different. Like person's like creative process is different too, because I want to make sure we are aligned with them. But yeah, like that's typically the process. It's a lot of training.
Yeah. No, I've worked in consulting before, in tech consulting specifically, and I had to have the luxury, or I got the privilege of getting to explain to people that I don't have their Apple ID password and that I am unable to download an app through their phone on their behalf. So, yeah, I totally get the hand holding. I totally get the aspect of technology isn't for everybody. Not everybody is tech savvy. You can't expect everybody to have the same understanding that you do. So, that brings me to my next question of okay, so you have this down to a T. You are creating content for these clients, you're also creating content for them to create content. And then you start bringing on a team. What does that look like? Because obviously, Slate is your baby. You've developed this from nothing. What was it like to hire people? Was it satisfactory? Was it like, I know I can still do this on my own? Like, what was that feeling?
It was I always knew that I wanted to have a team. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to grow this because also like it got to the point where people were inquiring and I really wanted to help their business and I really wanted to work with them and they really wanted to work with me too. And I just didn't have the capacity because I always value quality over quantity and I never wanted to
Mm-hmm.
just bring on a bunch of people and not be able to give them my best. So it got to the point where I was like, something needs to change. I need to expand in some different kind of way to be able to grow. Also, like I would love to be able to like one day I want to like have a family and I would love to be like a present mom and be able to like
Mm-hmm.
be at home with my kids and not like I work at home right now basically, but being able to kind of like step back a little bit. And but
Mm-hmm.
I will always want to do something like this because I'm so passionate about it. But I knew that there was gonna have to be some changes one day with Slate. So I kind of
Right.
already had that pill swallowed of like it's not gonna just be me. I kind of have to venture out of that comfort zone. But especially the like end of last year, I was like, okay, like it was like end of last summer, I was like, something needs to change because I have a wait list and I like when I would hop on discovery calls, like I genuinely wanted to work with these brands because I'm like, I want to help your business and I
Yeah.
really see all these like ideas and that kind of stuff. But like I just didn't have the capacity. So I knew that I needed to hire, but also there were so many different like avenues of hiring. And I reached out to a couple different friends of like in the social media realm too and asked them like what they did. Cause like there's a way to go about it where you like kind of hire other freelance like graphic designers or
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and kind of like do it that way where you kind of just outsource different things um which like I think maybe like I definitely think that's like really beneficial and I think that would be amazing. I still and I we're looking at hiring like a graphic designer that would like those things as well, that way we can always like have the best of everything because like I'm not the best graphic designer like
Right.
you can't I can't check all those boxes or whatever and
Mm-hmm.
I love also just having the other creative process of everybody else. So that's where I knew I was like, okay, I would like to bring on kind of extended versions of me, like different like me, like so I could do different brands. So I'm like, okay, I knew that I didn't want to go down the outsourcing of like that kind of realm. So I knew that I wanted to hire a team of like social media managers as well. And there was so many people that like wanted to work with Slate and they were like, I would love to like be like an intern basically and like
Okay.
work with you for like part, or like for a little bit, or like they wanted to like work with me and then go start their own business, which like I am so down for that. But it was just not the position that I was in, where I'm like, I need long term. Like I wasn't going to
Mm-hmm.
be able to spend all this time and money investing in like training somebody and bringing them onto our team for them to like potentially leave. Not saying that like my girls will work with me forever, but
Right.
knowing that it's not going to just be a summer internship or whatever. And luckily, I think I just like manifested these girls because they are literally heaven sent. One of the girls, because yeah, it's kind of hard where you're like, I want a social media manager, but like a lot of social media managers will go start their own business themselves. So I'm like, okay, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
trucks them off where they're already working and they don't want to work under someone else's business, or like they want to go start their own or whatever. So I was okay, like I don't even know if this type of person like exists. And then this girl
Right.
reached out, which is my Slate girl, Emily, and she was like, she's a mom of like 3 kids, so she's a busy woman. She also has like her own social media like management and like strategy stuff too. She does content creation, that kind of stuff too. And she's like, I love the content creation side and I love creating content. I don't like being a business owner. I'm like, perfect. I own a
Girl.
business that needs content creation people. So we
Yeah.
like and like it just was immediate. Like I had that feeling where I'm like, this is perfect. I love her and I still love her so much. Like she is an amazing like addition to our team. So I knew that like I was gonna bring her on, starting like this year. So I brought her on in January. And around that same time that I met Emily, I was talking to, oddly enough, my esthetician. I was getting a facial and I was talking to her and like I became friends with her obviously because we just like chit chat during our appointments. And she is just an angel. And she was like talking about how she does like her own like kind of gym content. Like she loves like posting like content from the gym and she's like a gym fitness girly. She's like, I love creating content and I really want to venture down like this content creation like plot or like kind of journey. But like I already own a business, so I'm not gonna start my own business. So like I don't really know what I need to do. And I'm like, wow, like they
Girl,
fell
do I have
into
a
that.
place for you?
I was like,
Yeah.
enough. I have a position for you, girl. And like I already knew I loved her so much, and I already knew that like we were on the same page. We would work well together. I know what like her content looked like and stuff like that. So those two girls were like the perfect fit. So I onboarded them and brought them onto Slate at the same time, and they are literally the best additions ever. They bring so much to the table where it's like they have different like perspectives and like viewpoints and creative like they're all just we bring a different point to the table, but also like they check all the boxes. Like they are able to be like multiple versions of me. So I'm able to like we're able to work with multiple different clients and widen our capacity. And yeah, I'm so thankful for that. But it was honestly just I got lucky. Like people were like, "Where did you find your
Yeah.
girls?" And I'm like, "I don't know what good karma I got
It just
or
showed up.
no, literally I was like they fell into my lap and it was so funny because like I would tell my boyfriend, I was like, my boyfriend's name is Zach, and I would tell him I'm like, I need to hire. I need to hire. And he's like, well, why aren't you hiring? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't want to open that can of worms yet. And I was just like, it was
So
just
you
not
never even listed it. This was just something that you knew
no.
that you needed to do.
Yeah, no, I
Wow.
didn't. And that's what Zach's like, you're not really making the effort to like get to these next steps because I would just be like another discovery call that I have to waitlist, like I can't bring him on. And Zach's like, well, why are you
Mm-hmm.
complaining? Like if you're not gonna do something about it. And he was like, you know that this is your next step. Like you gotta get out of your comfort zone. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I know. But like I was just so scared. And also just like
Yeah.
didn't know. And then I think it was just the universe being like, girl, you have to do this. And it just fell in my
Yeah.
lap perfectly. And maybe deep down I knew that was gonna happen. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
also like the end of the year, so I was like, okay, in the next year, like in the beginning of the year, that's like a perfect way to onboard and like kind of shift. So like all the timelines really just fit really well, and
Yeah.
luckily I was able to do that. So I don't know what going forward will look like for Slate as well, where if like how we're gonna expand more. I definitely want to bring on like we're looking for a graphic designer right now and just different like I feel like we could bring different people who are passionate about certain things, like a strategist or
Mm-hmm.
a content, like a graphic designer, video editor, or whatever. We can kind of bring those elements, and like even just if we do freelance, that way we can elevate every single aspect of our services. But yeah, like that's where we're at right now, and I love it. I feel like we're finally kind of getting out of the onboarding phase of the girls where like there's a lot of hand holding and I knew that it would be. And that's another reason I was kind of putting off hiring because I'm like, I'm drowning right now. I know the only way out of drowning is to hire, but hiring is like a whole bucket of water when you're already drowning. Cause it's like, okay,
Yeah.
now you're gonna have to do like work times too, because you have to kind of handhold them through every single process. So it was a little bit of grinding for a while of like, okay, I'm doing my clients, but I'm also like doing their clients basically with them. But I knew that I had to do that so they can get on the same wavelength and kind of see my process and see how things work and kind of just get onboarded to Slate.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like finally kind of out of the blue a little bit. We're like transitioning out of that, like where they're a lot more independent and they're able to have that creative process themselves and they're finding their groove and they're finding their confidence in doing that. And it's
Hmm.
so amazing watching them also like blossom into like this next part of their like they are loving it and we're like onboarding more clients for them too. So it is just so nice. It's worked out exactly how it was supposed to, but I just did not know how it was going to work out when it first started.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like to me you were doing step number one of manifesting, and then the manifesting came to fruition just much faster than anticipated.
No, literally, it just like dropped on me. And I was like, oh, okay, I can't ignore it anymore.
Let me snatch that up. Yeah, literally.
It's not snatching it up, it was kind of like pushing it off of me. It was crushing me a little bit. But also like, thank you, because I feel like if it did just like fall in my lap a little bit, I would have like flicked it off more and be like, no, I can't do that right now. So I'm
Yeah.
really thankful for it. And
Hmm.
yeah, like, it really is just like trusting the timing, and I'm happy I did.
Yeah. And I mean, it's amazing because it seems like it was very natural growth for Slate. And now you have this team and you're thinking about what growth continues to look like. And you are still a very young company. So, what I want to know is like, what do you have on the future of Slate? Of what's on the forefront? What are you thinking about? Obviously, you're thinking about hiring a graphic designer, but obviously, you want to add more to your team. Obviously, social media is not going anywhere. If anything, it's becoming more consuming by everybody. So, what's next?
I don't know what's next. Like obviously, like what we said, a graphic designer, I feel like that would be good. And also I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. Right now, I will say everybody, I feel like you can feel the economy. Like a lot of people are not investing in things. We don't have the money to spend. So
Hmm.
we're finally kind of coming out of this, like, especially in the summer, people are like after tax season, people are or like, okay, we're ready to start investing in these things again, or just it's like we're getting out of slow season. So
Hmm.
right now we're finally kind of getting into this where I'm like, okay, what happens when my girls are at capacity too?
Right.
Which I'm like maybe we hire more girls like them, or if we do hire like even just like graphic designers and that kind of stuff, that will take some capacity off of our plates as well, which would, widen our like capacity to work with more. So just taking it one step at a time and making sure that like everything feels really aligned for everybody. I never want to force anything or make my girls feel like they're scattered or they're scared or whatever. I want to make sure everything's really done as a team. Like I said, like I think in the future, like obviously far in the future, a couple years down the road, I would love to see like my vision for Slate is that it is this company of girls or like, a team that are working with these clients and I'm able to kind of take a little bit of a step back so I can like raise my family and like really like I just kind of be that I don't know if it's like the glue that holds it together, but like just kind of
Right.
that center. And I hop on meetings, but I'm also like not here grinding like I am now. Like I feel like right now I'm in this phase
Hmm.
of life where I'm really building this up and I've working every day, all day, every day. And I would love to be able to take that step back. So that's kind of what I'm like working for like towards in the next like 5 years. Just kind of being able to, maybe I'm the one that hops on these discovery calls and these meetings and that kind of stuff. I love connecting with my team and helping them kind of piece the parts together, but they're able to do what they enjoy and they're able to, do the content creation that they enjoy and like it actually still be their passion and while we're helping other businesses. So I know that there's growth. I know that like we're going to have to grow at some point in some direction and we're just kind of taking that one step at a time. So who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe it will be a full team of just social media managers. Maybe it will be like a little mix of everything.
Hmm.
But I know that it's going to work out because I'm like, it did before, so it will.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And obviously, you've created such an amazing thing that other people have wanted to come and either be your client or come and work for you. So it's been a journey for you going from ground zero to this business that you now have. When you look back on your time, what is something that makes you the most proud of everything that you've done thus far?
Like there's so many like things I guess I could say. I really when I think about like my past like making Slate, I really think of those times that like I went to bed like, oh my God, should I be giving up? Like, is this like a not
Mm-hmm.
smart thing to be doing? Like, I'm a little scared. Am I gonna pay rent? Am I gonna be doing this? Like those huge things that I just had to have undoubtful faith in myself and that I knew that this was gonna work out and that I all I had to do was just keep pushing through. Like I feel like I was kind of like had to be a little naive and like just kind of being like, well, it's gonna work out because I know it's gonna work out because I'm not gonna give up. But like on that, like reality was like, hey girl, you have no clients right now and rent's due. And I'm like, well, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
work out. And it did, thankfully. And I really think that is kind of just like, I don't know if like you believe in like the universe and that kind of stuff. I really think it was just
Mm-hmm.
I put that energy out and it bounced back to me. Like like anything you put out, it reflects to you. And I knew I wasn't gonna fail. And I knew that those clients were out there for me. And I knew that this life that was kind of just on the other side of pushing through. And all I had to do was kind of like step into that persona of like who I will be on the other side and like what things will look like
Hmm.
and kind of show up as a successful business owner, like kind of fake it till you make it. Like they kind of teach you
Yeah.
that when you learn about manifestation. Like you kind of have to live as if you already have it.
Hmm.
And like it probably was a little ignorant and it was probably a little like, girl, I'm nervous for you. And I'm like, don't worry, I was a little
Yeah.
nervous for you too. But I think about those times and I'm just so proud of myself because it's so scary, especially when it's like it's only you and
Hmm.
the world is kind of showing you like maybe you should go get a corporate job. And it's like, well, no, like
Hmm.
I am working for this. There was no doubt in my mind that I was not going to be able to be successful. And I'm so proud of her. And she worked so hard. And I think about that and like when I celebrate milestones of like hiring or like Slate turning two, I just think back to those nights where I'm like, if I could show her like that girl where I like she would be so thankful. And like I think I just always kind of knew that I would like end up here because like what I said, like it's so cheesy, but like if you don't fail, you can't, or if you don't give up, you can't fail because like truly you can't. Like unless you give up, then that's when you fail. But like even if you do feel like you've quote unquote failed 1,000 times, the fact that you don't give up, like you haven't failed yet. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like in my mindset, that's how it was. And I don't know, that is like I don't know, like that's what I think about, and that's what I'm so happy for and so thankful for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of the bad times make the good times so much better of like you staying up late at night working on either a pitch or an idea or trying to connect with a client and then to now, fast forward to now of you have these clients, you have people that work under you, you have people that are on a waiting list to work with you. Like it is just such a surreal feeling and I'm so excited to see everything that you look to accomplish and everything that you want to achieve, you will because you've already showed yourself that you can. And it's truly just an inspiring story. And I feel like I love doing these podcasts because I get so inspired by talking to people like you because you're so motivated by your business, you're so motivated by what you did. And I really just hope that everybody listening also finds that sense of motivation. And if not for themselves, maybe for their business. And who knows? Like, you never know what's going to happen. But thank you, Sarah, so much for talking to me. And I'd love for you to share where people can find you on social media, where they can find Slate, how they can reach out and connect with you.
Slate's handle is just Slate Social and then MGMT, so like management, like shortened. And you can like click the link in our bio to work with Slate or DM us or whatever. We're on Instagram, TikTok. But yeah, I'm so thankful to be able to have the opportunity to like speak and talk on your podcast. It was such an honor and it was so nice to meet you. So thank you.